Arnab, the problem is if we take the pan-India terror attacks outside Kashmir and Punjab, they start in 93. It's 20 years. The first attack in Bombay. Now, since then, we've had a series of attacks. It just repeats itself after a while. We do genuflection, we do soul searching, and then we forget about it. Now, first serious problem is that we have politicized the whole fight against terror.
Completely.
When you have a sub-inspector dying, Batla House, you have a sub-inspector dying, Digvijay Singh of Congress stands up and starts challenging the bona fides of Delhi police. Then what was the need for the Home Minister to politicize it to an extent that he first levels charges against the principal opposition party and then he has to roll it back? Now what is the signal you send to the police force down below? That if there's this kind of quibbling at the top, this kind of counter charges and you politicize it, obviously it demoralizes the force down below. What should they do? If they take any action, they are damned. If they don't take any action, they are damned. But the most important thing is, Arnab, Mr. Doval is there, but the fact remains that the Intelligence Bureau has been highly politicized. Why are you having DIBs posted as governors after they retire? Are you sending us and governors to states where there are opposition parties running those states? What is the signal you're sending them? You're sending a spy to look into their affairs. Now, if you're going to use intelligence, I am absolutely certain that if you had oversight over IB, more than 50% of their time is spent on keeping an eye on the other political parties, keeping an eye on your own other dissidents and so on and so forth. This has to end. The intelligence operation in India has to become professional. There has to be oversight. There has to be parliamentary oversight. There is no intelligence agency in any liberal democracy which is without oversight, which just does whatever it wants. Now, you cannot have this. You must become professional. Now, the problem, you can't have a national counterterrorism center. US got it in 1 year. Within 1 year of 2611, Bush made sure that they had a counterterrorism center. There were 20-odd agencies that were hammered to come together and participate.
Yeah.
And we've not been able to do it even after 2008.
Yeah.
Because there is a trust deficit between states and
because
the center.
Our political parties,
the center has to bridge that deficit.
Because our political parties, KC Singh, and time to call a spade a spade. I mean, these political parties may not like it. They have to look at themselves in a mirror tonight and ask themselves simply this, that while you have the system, you have professionals, you have politicized this to such a point that you're having this swilly quibble about the color of terror. And it is so ironical, isn't it, General Jaswal, that yesterday we had the Home Minister who does some kind of a strange pre-budget session political compromise by saying, I'm sorry, or that I described it as saffron terror. That is the nature of the debate on terror which is going on. We have no NCTC, and I also want to point out here, General Jaswal, the National NIA has secured a conviction only in 2 cases related to bomb explosions in Kozhikode. And if you look at the website of the NIA, 48 cases registered by the agency since its inception, 23 cases there has not been charge sheeted so far. And in each of the 25 cases where the NIA has filed charge sheets, the agency has put the number of the people accused. The NIA has not been able to nab as many as 45 terrorists in some major cases. In 2 NIA cases, and these are the shocking statistics of how our country is fighting terror, in 2 NIA cases where there has been a conviction, 2 terrorists were convicted, the 2 others were acquitted. So in other words, the NIA is completely dysfunctional because of the lack of sharing of information and the lack of a sharing of a common infrastructure between people who should be at the forefront of fighting terror. And on top of this, we have this incident which happens today. General Jaswal, don't you think the counter-terror infrastructure needs to be free of politicians? Completely 100% free of politicians.
Absolutely. Now, first of all, my sympathy goes to the people who have lost their lives and the people who have been injured. Now, as far as your question is concerned, I'll first answer this, and I'd also like to tackle something else. The speakers have already summed up beautifully well. Now, there is no doubt that if in case you want to have an organization which is to be effective, it should be given space to function without a hawkeye sitting who's watching them and giving directions what they should be doing. In the instant case also, I believe that there was lack of sync between the center intelligence apparatus and the state. If the center had shared it with the state, I'm sure they could have taken prophylactic action, and this could have been avoided. Mr. Doval has beautifully summed up, and the rest too, that there are methodologies where we can make sure that no space is provided to these people to operate it. But more importantly, why I would like to say is 3-4 aspects. One, why this has taken place. There is no doubt that terrorist modules are operating in that area, and I would also like to bring in the factor of the Red Crescent, the Naxals also operating in this area. Now, first of all, why this has taken place, it is in the interest of Pakistan to show that the conglomeration of states in the country, there is indigenous terrorism. Though IM and other terrorist groups are directly controlled by the ISI, so that the baggage is off their back of being dubbed as a terrorist sponsoring state. So they want to show it as an indigenous movement. Now, who's done it? Now, let's see, can the Naxals do it? Negative.
Yeah,
I don't think in my analysis, because it's a people's movement. I'll just come to it. They would like to strike in an area wherein people are from rural area. If you see this area, it's got migrants. And the methodology, the modus vivendi, is not what has been displayed out here. Now, let's take whether it is IM or Hindu or whosoever it is. Well, very possible. Very possible. Now, if this has taken place, how come this has taken place? Has there been a fresh induction of leaders in this area, of whatever terrorist group has done so? Well, then it's a matter of concern.
Well, I think Mr. Doval put it right. You know, if you have the information and you don't act, then I want to ask the Andhra Pradesh government why they don't want to act. So the question is who could have done this and all. We can keep discussing it. But I remember that the Bihar Chief Minister objected when the Maharashtra ATS went to make an went to interrogate someone a few months back. It became a political issue. We have this ridiculous saffron terror, non-saffron terror debate which has been going on right now of late. We've had an open fight going on between the Mumbai police and the Delhi police in another case recently, which was also being handled by the NIA. All these public spectacles have not stopped, and we have an open political fight happening over the NCTC right now, states versus center. Right? There is, I mean, as a former head of the Intelligence Bureau, would you be candid enough to say that it is the politicians who are the biggest stumbling block, that the political class is the biggest stumbling block in fighting terror in this country?
Well, it's a very, very important stumbling block. Biggest, I will come to it a little later, but it's one of the most important factors. But let me put it like this. In what way does it manifest itself? Firstly, it manifests in making the laws. Why the POTA was removed? It was because there was a political motive behind that. Why the NCTC was opposed? Why this statement was given that it was the saffron terror and the Islamic terror or whatever is that? The making of the laws itself. Why the Mukoka in Gujarat has not been approved, and in the non-Congress states it has not been approved, and the same laws, exactly the same, without a change of a comma, that has been approved for Maharashtra, it has been approved for other Congress states. Now the politicization in the making of laws. Then the politicization in providing the assistance and infrastructure to the states. It is again a matter of politics between the relationship of the state and the center and how much the center would like to use it. Third is about sharing of the executive power. That is where it comes that the states will oppose the NCTC, or the center would like to have the Intelligence Bureau to be given the power that in case they have got definite information, that with the help of the NSG and others they can intervene to preempt this thing and within 24 hours hand it over. I don't think there is much deal that the states cannot have it, but the states do not want or do not trust the center, and therefore they think that politically it will be inexpedient for them to hand over these powers to the center. So the entire thing has been politicized, and worst is it that it has been linked to the electoral politics. There are certain political parties think, as was made by Mr. Keshri Singh very rightly, that this event which is taking the Batla Hall.
That is the point. That is the point. So I want
senior Congress leader.
So
you are seeing the whole country is saying That is the thing. And then you go to Azamgarh, you visit their houses, and in UP, the one particular party, when it has come in power, it has released, not only released those people who were jailed, but has asked the court to withdraw all the cases which are pertaining to the terrorists. Now, withdrawal of the cases in which the charges have been framed, the cases are under trial, they are being withdrawn by the state. Now, this is totally unheard of anywhere in the world,
and it's
that heinous terrorist cases will.
So
be
there is a point that you make there, is that there is a sense that these groups, whoever is doing this, are finding some level of political patronage. And there are some politicians in our country who believe that you can, and let's hit the nail on the head out here. Because since 9/11, the United States of America, Majid Memon, has foiled 40 terror attacks. And since 26/11 in our country, largely because of, one, the indifference, second, the interference, third, I would say the short-sightedness, and fourthly, the infighting among the political class. There have been 6 terror attacks in India. This is the stark contrast with the United States of America, which does not politicize terror, and India, where politicians seem to be making it the #1 issue to target each other. I don't think any of the politicians will take responsibility for the number of people who have been killed and injured in Hyderabad today, besides their perfunctory apologies and excuses.
Arnav, if you would kindly give me a couple of minutes, because I have been for the last 20 minutes hearing everybody, and I have very carefully heard your opening comments. When you enumerated 7 questions, some of them are indeed very pertinent, and they need to be cured if they are seriously examined without much difficulty, to avert such recurrence of such events, whether in Hyderabad or anywhere else in the country. Now, first, this bereavement, we feel very sorry. 9 families have suffered. About 50 people have, been injured, and probably this number may rise. You see, Dilkhush Nagar, in a matter of few minutes, has turned into Dilgir Nagar, as you would call it. How sad. Markets are very vulnerable. It is Hyderabad by itself, with its history, with its background, with its recent development, OIC episode, then Tongadia and all that, it is a very sensitive and very vulnerable area. Then the marketplace anywhere in the country, be it Delhi market or any other city, where people are just thronging, people are unconcerned about what is happening around, become very easy victims. And it is very sad that, terrorist attack may take away the life of any innocent person anywhere in the country. It's very sad. Now, we should not attribute this to politics or to religion.
Why not? No, why not?
And all that.
No, why not?
I think,
why not?
Arnav,
No, why not?
Let me.
No,
Arnav,
why not? Why not?
Yeah,
Because why not? Because why not? What stands? No, why not? One second. Why not? Because what stands between 1 minute, sir? What stands between a strong counter-terror infrastructure and its implementation for the safety of the people of India? Politics. What stands between the cooperation between states? 1 minute, sir. Politics.
No.
What stands in coming in the way of a common tough law against terror?
One government charge sheet.
Politics. One second. Yes, Ajit Doval is responding. Ajit, 1 second. Ajit Doval, yes. Ajit Doval, yes.
No, I say one government under the same laws charge sheets some people, gives all the conclusive evidence before the court. The another political party under the same laws comes and withdraws the cases. Not even freezes or asks them to go slow. Says that we don't want to pursue the cases at all. And they would, without any trial, they would like to declare them as innocent. And some of the senior leaders going and visiting the houses of these terrorists or the suspected terrorists against whom the terrorist cases are going on. If this is not politics, unless this is solved, probably we will never be able to deal with terrorism in this country.
You're getting a counter, yes, Mr. Menon.
Arnav, see, no state or no center government would be soft on terror cases. It's not fair. You see, and also,
but we are.
Removal of quota. No, but please,
sir,
let us come to you. See,
sir, but we are.
Which government, no government, whether state or center, can survive the moment it is exposed that it is soft on terrorism. Not at all.
Sir, but we
You
are.
see,
Sir, but
there
we are not
these are-
surviving. Sir, but we are. I'll give you the example of the
You-
United States of America where
See,
40 terrorist
unfortunately-
attacks. No. Let's go to Maruf. We have to change this attitude that, oh my God, terror happens and you can't do very much about it. It is a part of our life. You know, it is not sheer luck because of which the United States of America has been able to stop terror attacks, Maruf, is it? It is decisive action in which the politicians have never once dared before the people of America to do any kind of politics, vote bank politics or any other politics over the issue of terror. So is Majid Memon right in saying that no state can really do very much beyond the point here, or that the government of India and our state machineries and our politicians
withdrawal
are
of Simi.
keen enough?
Now, why did that?
Yes.
You know,